A prison officer remanded after being charged for taking cell phone batteries to Dodds. Police arrest 3 young men after an incident on the Spring Garden Highway. And in sports, Barbados take a 2-1 lead against El Salvador in the Davis Cup competition.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom with the Saturday, April 5th edition of the CBC Evening News. A prison officer has been remanded to Dodds after appearing in court, charged with unlawfully taking 3 mobile phone batteries into Dodds prison. According to police, 31-year-old Danny Michelle Francisco Allen of Denton Road, Grisettes, St. Michael, was remanded until Tuesday when he will reappear in the District C Magistrates Court. He was arrested and charged late yesterday after the batteries were found by prison officers who were carrying out a routine check when he turned up for duty at Her Majesty's Prison Dodds. Police say the contraband was seized, Allen was subsequently detained, and the police were summoned. Police were pressed into action on the Spring Garden Highway this afternoon as a group of youngsters armed with cutlasses clashed. Now, lawmen have stressed that the incident had nothing to do with the UE's revised carnival celebrations, now called Juvenile. This video, captured by cameraman Christopher Wood, shows police pursuing a group of men who were involved in an incident with another group. Lawmen say at least 3 of them have been taken into custody. 2 allegedly were armed with cutlasses. Investigations are continuing into that incident. Meanwhile, hundreds took to the Spring Garden Highway to participate in the Juvenile Carnival. Just after 1 o'clock, the 20 registered bands made their way along the designated route from the party stand on the Princess Alice Highway to Spring Garden and back. The event replaced the original event, Caduival, cancelled this year because of budgetary constraints at the Caveville campus. The carnival activities are expected to continue tonight with an after-party at the party stand. In other news now, there is a major focus this month on the growing prevalence of child neglect and abuse in Barbados. According to Minister of Social Care, Steve Blackett, his ministry has joined a number of other local and regional groups who are concerned about the increase in reported cases of these incidents against children. Mr. Blackett notes that during the period January to December 2013, the Child Care Board received 758 reports of alleged child abuse and neglect from a group of about 1,036 children. He says 717 were new referrals.
Of the 1,036 children, 513 or 49.5% were cases of neglect. It should be noted that these figures do not represent all of the children who have suffered abuse and neglect. Rather, they are thought to be the tip of the iceberg. It is therefore incumbent upon all of us to be more vigilant in ensuring that these cases are identified, the requisite interventions made, and the solutions found as the circumstances dictate, particularly during this testing time when some families grapple with economic challenges.
Mr. Blackett was speaking as the Kiwanis Club partnered with UNICEF to launch a child neglect and abuse awareness campaign at Hero Square. UNICEF Deputy Representative for the Eastern Caribbean, Violet Speak Warnery, was among those attending today's event. She says the organization is concerned about reports from Barbados that young girls and boys are saying that their first sexual experiences were forced.
Another study has said that the prevalence of child sexual abuse is probably around 20 to 45% of all children. This is quite a staggering prevalence estimations. And it just shows that especially child sexual abuse is something that's ongoing, but it's a very silent, ongoing emergency. It's not talked about, and people are not reporting it. So the message here today is that we are very happy that community groups are coming forward, like Kiwanis, who are helping put that message out, but also being very responsive. So if they see someone who's being abused, a child that's being abused, help report that.
When we return, a political scientist calls for closer ties with Venezuela. A suggestion tonight that Barbados needs to establish a Braille facility to serve the needs of visually impaired members of the community. It's coming from Queen's Counsel Hal Gollop, who believes it will help them in their fight against discrimination in the society. He was speaking at a seminar organized by the Barbados National Council for the Disabled.
You have the ability to think, then you have the ability to contribute to the development of society, even though that contribution may be limited in somewhat. So it is the responsibility of the state to allow you to get a chance to use your natural abilities, however limited, for the total development of the society.
Well, there's a view that Barbados remains challenged economically because respective governments have not recognized the importance and benefits of forming an alliance with the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Professor of Political Science at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus, Dr. Tennyson Joseph, made the point at a press conference organized by the Friends of Venezuela Committee at the Radisson Aquatica Resort. He said Barbados is on a trajectory to economic recovery and Venezuela can help, but he also insists government needs to speak out against what he calls atrocities being inflicted by Western powers on our South American neighbor.
So Venezuela is a neighbor, a strong and viable neighbor with immense resources which we do not have. It has offered us a hand of friendship in a way that we have not seen since the collapse of the Cold War. It has given us a window through which we can escape our current condition, and yet we find we are like a set of ungrateful children. We are spurning the hand of friendship that has been offered to us.
And head of the Clement Payne movement, David Commissiong, believes regional media is allowing itself to be used to spread Western propaganda. Mr. Commissiong, who is also a member of the Friends of Venezuela Committee, has pointed to reports highlighting Venezuela as being crippled by mass protest. Mr. Commissiong says there have been some pockets of protest in the South American country. However, that has been very remote.
The isolated elements of protest in a handful of municipalities in Venezuela is extremely unpopular. It is extremely unpopular with the working class who have refused to participate. It is even unpopular with a large swathe of the middle and upper middle class and even some elements of the right-wing opposition who believe that it is the wrong strategy. It's a strategy that will ultimately turn away the vast masses of the Venezuelan people.